So we've got a Slido, just to consider really, as Annika said, what we've been speaking of today, um, just that sort of original, thoughts around sort of how, when we feel that we belong, and from what we've heard today, how we feel that we could help others, to feel that they belong. So feel free to sort of pop it into the Slido or into the chat, your thoughts on belonging and how we can enable sort of others to help feel that they belong. Yeah, be welcoming. Definitely. That's something which comes up, a lot sort of with the families that we work with. Yeah, listening. That's definitely really important. Yeah, compassion. So compassion's been sort of spoken of a lot by the families that we work with, compassion and, all the work that we do. Yeah, submitting that we don't have an answer, and that can sometimes be quite difficult, but we don't have all the answers, and but we can always ask, yeah, and be open to learning and changing. So sort of asking, just that compassionate curiosity, around sort of people's experiences. Yeah, being non-judgmental. Yeah, honesty and transparency. So yeah, a lot around sort of welcoming, and yeah, an openness to sort of perspectives in different cultures. Yep, so just sort of feeling able just to ask and showing care and interest. So, sort of that theme of sort of care, compassion, interest, respect really for the people that we work with. Yeah, educating ourselves. So, I mean, that's something that we can sort of look at, how do we support sort of people in gaining sort of that education and awareness, um, and that sort of curiosity around different cultures. And that's sort of part of, sort of why I'm having this conversation today, to look at what we can take forwards. Yeah, and believing people's experiences, that comes up, a lot in that sort of respect and sort of belief, being adapting. And then I think, should we go on to what are we going to do? The next one. So thinking of all of that, it's sort of what small thing, can sort of we as individuals or, within our teams, what can we do differently to take forwards from today? Yeah, learning, which is all sort of part of today. Yeah, taking more time. Yeah, talking about inclusion, open conversations. Yeah, listening, definitely. Yeah, confident to challenge. I think, that really came through in the discussion earlier today, just being sort of confident and being sort of, advocates. Yeah, accessibility of information. That comes up, a lot around sort of how people can access the information sort of within our services, and making sure that it's inclusive. Yes, being humble. I think that's, that's really important. And sharing our experiences. Yep. Being curious and not judgmental. Yes, allowing people to explore their opinions. And that, piece at the beginning with Hina around sort of that unconscious bias, isn't it? It's seeing that sort of in ourselves and having that time, as Hina was saying, to reflect. Yeah, so listening, reflecting, and not judging, and being open to correction. I can definitely, it's, it's that humbleness of that you're not always going to get things right. Um, but yeah, being open to that correction. Yeah, complaints procedures. Yeah, yeah, reflect on unconscious bias. And then on to the next question. So, sort of with all of that in mind, what do you feel you need help with to make that change? So, think as big as you can or as little as you can, whatever it is, so whatever you feel that would help you to make that change, in bringing people, from across sort of our system, um, practitioners, sort of, within the ICB, the council, we've got a lot of people here, um, who can help to make that change. Yep. So training, how to avoid resistance or feeling defensive. Yeah, training and learning. Yes, using scenarios. Hopefully you found that all sort of helpful in using the scenarios today to talk through sort of and reflect on our experiences. Yeah, more opportunities for shared training. That's come through before, actually, just sort of coming together as MDTs to look at what sort of training and how we can work together to support our families and our children. Yeah, training for the whole organisation. Yep, areas to share with colleagues. Yeah, I mean, there's so much good practice, happening. Sort of how can we share all of that practice? Yeah, and sort of sharing with organisations about what changes we've made. So, celebrating where we do things, sort of well, and sharing that practice. Yeah, culture of openness. And that's sort of our own team cultures, organisational cultures. It's sort of being open to people's experiences. Yeah, without fear of judgment. And then last but not least, Annika.
I think that might be it, Nikki, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, I had a last one. I've got my agenda next to it.
Ah, okay.
That's
Do
all
you want
right.
to, maybe we can pop some things in the chat then? Maybe it's a final reflection.
Yeah, so I'd had sort of practical next steps and resources, so
Okay.
I suppose along sort of these lines, really, what help do you think need to make that change? So yeah, so online videos and trainings. Um so I know sort of there's, NHS Select, then also SMEF, Surrey Minority Ethnic Forum, they do cultural awareness training as well. Yeah, pre-installments were very thought-provoking. Yeah, and to be an advocate for colleagues and clients, definitely.